Now, you might have known this, but the average American does over 120 diets in their lifetime. Some of them might be things like lemon juice and cayenne pepper. I don't know if the juice is worth the squeeze here, literally. But whether you do this or whether you even try juicing diets, are they really the thing that you should do? Well, I'm gonna go over 10 fad diets that our world often claims are great for fat loss, and I'm gonna then give you my 2025 winner for the diet that's gonna be the ultimate one to help your body feel and look the best. So, if you don't know who I am, my name is Mike Over. I've been featured in places like ABC News, Men's Health, T-Nation, Inside Fitness. I've even owned a gym for over 10 years, and so I love to kind of share my education, my knowledge, and give people the facts so they don't have to spend tons of time searching Google. So, let's get right to it. The fad diets that are out there. Number one, we know keto and Atkins, most popular, right? If you don't know what it is, it's more of a high-fat, low-carb diet. Now, the benefits of keto. Obviously, we know that it can help manage insulin. It can control diabetes. They actually even used it to treat epilepsy back in the day for keto. But we also now know that Atkins is more of like, you gotta follow the Atkins meals, the diet plans, the bars that they have out there, which we gotta now understand that these are more junk bars in disguise. If this is not natural, then I don't know what is, because the thing is these bars come with about 80 ingredients on them. So when you're following these plans, you've got to be aware of the hidden nemesis, right? Because these keto disguises of keto this, the keto low carb this, the keto granola, the keto dips, the keto sauces, all these things can be great, but they also can be loaded with additives, with ingredients that you can't even probably pronounce, and also with even sugar alcohols that could do more harm to your gut than good, because you can't really solve gut issues on a low carb diet. Your gut's gonna need bacteria. Not to mention, some of the drawbacks are is that everyday life, we need carbohydrates for energy, for also helping our bodies recover, repair, and grow. Can you live without them? Sure. But if you're trying to use them to be a performance athlete, it's like kind of riding a bike to California when you're on the East Coast when you got an airplane nowadays. So it's not too efficient. So you can choose what route you want, but I would rather go the route that's more efficient for my goals. Not to say that this doesn't have time and place in someone's diet throughout their lifetime or even annually, but I would often tell people that you've got to look first at previous history. Are you a chronic dieter? Are you healthy with your immune system? Are your cells healthy? Do you have good quality blood work? Are you a high stress individual? These things matter. So let that be known. Number two, we got Whole30. Now this is more of like a 40, like we want to call it like more like an elimination diet, right? So I love this diet mainly because it can help with people that have unsolved issues, whether it could be an allergy or they're eating something that they don't know is causing maybe inflammation or runny nose or runny eyes or congestion. These types of diets can eliminate some of the foods that can be trigger responses, whether it's from things that might be deemed healthy, that might be maybe a low histamine food that could be helpful for you, or it could be maybe a higher oxalate food that's causing damage. So these things can be beneficial when trying a diet such as that. But again, eliminating things, not necessarily good long term. The Zone diet, more of like a 40% carb, 30% protein, and 30% fat diet. Pretty basic, but yet still this diet sometimes cuts out some of the common things like even bananas that most of us eat. Now, is a banana gonna hurt your fat? No one's gotten fat from bananas, but there are things that can be caused that can be a better option than a banana for maybe getting potassium in your body, like an avocado. So you never know, but at the end of the day, again, something that maybe could be better off, but yet put into a time and place for everyone's diet. Then we got cleanses, like we were seeing with my lemon juice. The famous juice cleanse diets, are they beneficial? Do they work? Well, let's put it this way. Your body has to auto-clean cells. This process is called autophagy. If your cells are not naturally cleaned, then something such as a detox or a way about flushing the body filled with lots of micronutrients can be helpful. Flushing the body with massive amounts of micronutrients does not entail you sipping on some cayenne pepper and some lemon juice and sticking one shake in your body a day. You've got to learn that cleanses can be helpful when they're done correctly. So these random ones that you're Googling and not monitored and supervised by a professional such as a coach can cause a lot of damage. There are ways about going about something that can help, but I don't necessarily ever recommend just only drinking fluids unless you're doing it for a short-term period or maybe a fasting period, which can also be beneficial. Now, we've got the grapefruit, which kind of is like the same thing. You're just literally eating a grapefruit every day. Now, can it help? Sure. Can you do it? Maybe. I don't know. Do you like grapefruit that much? But end of the day, I don't want to just eat a grapefruit every day. And you got to do it for fat loss or what they claim that it's going to cleanse the system. No, you don't. So I don't think you got to just eat a grapefruit a day. I'm sorry. But then we got paleo. Now, everyone jumps on the paleo bandwagon. And at the end of the day, can it be helpful to cut out grains? Absolutely. You know, a lot of us do have gluten sensitivities, and some people do better off gluten, which leads me then to the gluten-free diet, right? Is gluten the enemy? Not really. I mean, people can live on gluten. People can be fine on gluten. It depends on the individual and their body's response to it. Do I often think that people should probably lean away more from gluten? Probably, but I wouldn't say that it's a problem that's causing America to be obese. But gluten can be a helpful thing to help also with getting proper grains in our body. What becomes problematic is those that have intolerances, or they fight insulin issues, or they stuff so many grains into their body that their body doesn't know the difference between a healthy grain and a tasty cake. So there's a difference there, all right? Then we've got the shake diet, right? Everybody just loves those shake diets. I'm just gonna drink shakes all day. Well, you're gonna get kind of wrecked into a new one and your body actually has to digest food. So remember that there is a difference between digesting food and just putting liquid into your body. If you wanna do that for the rest of your life, great, but I'm someone that I love to eat food and I love to chew, and if you don't, it kind of might come back with an evil edge where you might just end up binging on something in the cupboard. So shake diets maybe can help for maybe a couple days, or if you're a traveler, or if you're someone that doesn't have time, it can be incorporated into an eating diet, but to just drink all day, I'm not a fan of. But then the last two here, we've got if it fits your macros, right? If it's in my calorie range, I can have whatever I want, even if it's Doritos. Well, not so much. I'm one that I live off of you are what you eat. So if you're gonna fill your body even with the junk processed carbs just because it fits your macros, can you lose weight? Absolutely. You're in a caloric deficit if you put your numbers right. But I would rather put the right things into my body so my engine runs correctly. And that just is kind of the common science here. So whether I eat a tasty cake for breakfast that's 500 calories or a massive shake that's filled with greens, maca root, maybe some spirulina, maybe got some great protein powder in it, maybe a banana, whatever, fruit in it, then you're gonna see a difference in how your body handles those two 500 calorie meals. And if you didn't, then watch my one on Dunkin' Donuts that I posted on my Instagram page, because there is a difference in how your body responds to that. Then we got the low fat diet, right? So everybody loves that low fat, the conventional old school bodybuilder mentality where you gotta keep your fats low. Well, then ask them how their hormones are doing literally after competitions, because fats are essential for your hormones, for regulation of the body's internal process, even your immune system, right? Your gut health. All of these things are imperative to be umbrellaed under a good healthy fat complex. So your things like olive oil, avocado oil, even your eggs, right? So doing things like even omega-3s, they're very helpful for your body. Cutting them out is not necessarily going to be a helpful thing for you. So I want to remind you that while you can go low fat, and there can be times and places for it, ultimately you're going to do your body a disservice by not giving it that intake, and especially women. So I highly recommend women don't go low fat. Now, we're all talked about all 10 of these fat diets. Now, Mike, what are we now looking at? So what is going to be actually the winner when it comes to 2025? Which one is the best one here? Because we know that everybody tries dieting. It's none of these. Pretty shocking, right? Are you blown away that I'm not picking any of these? Well, I'm not. I want to go after the one that's going to be great for you to try in 2025 is the Mediterranean diet. It's the colorful rainbow diet filled with low inflammatory foods, about a 40 to 50% carb intake, And we're gonna go a little bit higher fat sometimes, 25 to 35% fats, and then we're gonna keep proteins around 20 to 25%. So now the thing with the Mediterranean diet that I love is the balanced nutrition here with creating plates that give you a little bit of everything. Also, your carb intake is very important to help create the body's awareness for what we need to get it into an mTOR state for those that want to build muscle, feel good, sleep better, have better health long term, because the carbs you're eating are very healthy in nature, right? So it lives off I love it, I call it the oranges, right? So your butternut squash, your sweet potatoes, your carrots, right? These are the great things that have lots of vitamin A in them to help with inflammation. So that would be my 2025 winner. Can you sprinkle in some of this in, especially when you're trying to maybe lose a few pounds? Maybe. So it depends, and that's my answer for you, because you got to hire a coach that's going to monitor this stuff. And if you're interested, make sure you reach out to me, subscribe to this channel, like this video, because for someone to tell you the best diet for everybody, it's just a waste of time and another waste of you scrolling, because there is one, but you've got to figure out what works for you. All right, so hopefully this helps. God bless. Make sure you like, subscribe, and stay tuned for an awesome opportunity that you have, because I am going to release something very neat for men coming in the future.